skinny I need to eat.
Me, man, we're in the same boat. We have so much in common.
Do you like intense cheeses?
I mean, I see, it's scary because it depends on what it's being complimented by.
You should try it.
I'm scared now. My appetite.
My name is Brent Watson. I'm a junior and a computer science major. I'm currently living in Westchester, which is down the freeway by LMU. Coming up to LA was like the first time I had to use public transportation. My initial opinion was I'm gonna get stabbed, but that didn't happen, thankfully. The first time I ever took the bus, there was a lady sitting on the bench there, and I asked her how much it cost, and she just like looked at me and just pretty much was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like, okay, I'm sorry. She just shaking her head and sitting down on the bench. I was like, okay, great way to start out my first time taking a bus in LA. The time it takes me to get to UCLA is usually about an hour and a half there, and then on the way back it usually sucks because that's during rush hour, and that usually takes me about sometimes over 2 hours. And I usually take about 2 buses. So it's not a lot of like transferring, but it's just kind of sucks. What I usually do on the bus is just put my headphones in and try to catch up on schoolwork, readings, stuff like that. But I mean, it's not usually as easy as that. A lot of times, like, people are just moving around, and then people are loud, and it smells, and it's hot, and the seats are tiny, and I'm a tall kid, so my legs don't exactly like extend directly in front of me. They kind of like, I have to like kind of contort them off to the side, and so yeah, it's just not comfortable at all.
Stop requested.
We gotta get better public transportation. Like, you know, it'd be awesome if we had flying cars or flying taxis. But that's not gonna happen anytime soon, so I'd say hopefully, you know, traffic eases up, but with all the construction on the 405 and all that crap, I highly doubt that's gonna happen. So yeah, just avoid public transportation if possible.
Press it more, it speeds it up. Everyone knows that. The bus route that I take is the 761. It goes from Hillgard and Sunset all the way to Van Nuys and Victory. It's about an hour and 10, 15, 20 minutes. If there's traffic, it could be up to 2 hours. Late for class. Yes, Sunset and Bellagio. I'm sorry, Victory and Van Nuys. I take the bus instead of any other means of transportation because that's the only way I can get to school. I don't have a car right now, and if I did have a car, the parking situation is so cumbersome that you might as well not have a car. This is the bus ride. See, the trick for a commuter like me is I get motion sick, so you think I would take advantage of the commute by studying. But when I try to study on the bus, I get incredibly sick. Like right now, sitting side, the doctor was telling me I should sit in a forward-facing seat. Hey, you know what? I'm a philosophy major. I really do a lot of deep thinking about life. Like, I'm car sick. It's early in the morning because on the way here, I gotta get up really early because this is Southern California, there's traffic. And so when you're that tired in your car sick and you get up early on the bus, you really start asking yourself, why am I doing this? Like, really? That being serious. Right on, G. And this is the second bus. I say they're about 99.99.9%. It's not a percentage, but almost everybody on the bus is a minority, including the driver. The kind of characters that I see on the bus vary. Some of them are homeless. The majority of them are probably going to work, like most of the time. Very few of them are actually students. I think that a lot of the people on the bus are reduced to being there because you're a college student like me and don't have a car and you got to get around. I think, yeah, that definitely has to do with it. Bus routes. Well, Jessica, it's been nice knowing you. Thank you, sir. And now we walk. Yep, there's a walking portion of it. Doesn't take you right in front of your house. But all of my family members own a car, except for my mother. My siblings don't bring me to school every day because they have a life. Take someone to school every day when they don't have to go there, especially when you can take a bus. I'm a celebrity, you know, my fans hit me up. But I just don't want to be a burden to them, so I don't rely on it.
I used to drive to work and park in the parking lot and do all that stuff. And there came a moment where I realized that I didn't have to. And I had other options available, especially when bus rapid transit really started to be developed on the Wilshire corridor. And then I moved to a place where I could actually have access to the bus rapid transit. But from my place to the bus stop took a long time to walk, and so I decided, well, I ride my bike anyway, I'll just ride my bike down there. I like the experience a lot because it, first of all, I have a chauffeur who is the bus driver, so that's great, and I don't have to fight traffic myself. And secondly, there's so many incredibly fantastic people on the bus that I would never have an opportunity to be around if I was, you know, in my box, my single box car. And you find that people have a lot of kindness. So if the bus is really full, often, but not always, people will get up and offer somebody their seat. There's a kind of, you have an opportunity to interact with the true genuineness and kindness of people on a daily basis. I know a lot of my peers say, well, there's no public transportation in LA. And you think, okay, but there is. So what's the disconnect for people? Because here you feel like you have to be able to park or get to transit in a really convenient way. In Paris, which was a city that was built before the automobile by and large, the distances that people have to walk to get to transit are often just as long as people have to walk here. But the mentality, we accept it there. A lot of places are actually pretty transit friendly, but we don't have in our habitual mind, just habit, walking 10 minutes to go someplace, or carrying your bags a block. That just seems like it's a burden. no more of a burden here than it is there, but in our heads, we just don't see, we're just too accustomed to the convenience of the car. So making that change is an attitudinal change. We know what the solutions are, pretty much. We have to reduce our consumption. We have to share, we have to have a more share economy. And really what we need is to make the change.
I don't think you can learn something enough about someone in a small video to have an impression of what they're like.
I'm not the biggest camera person, so, you know.
But no, there's nothing jarring about meeting you guys.
I would say the same. The only thing is I thought it would be a little more like anxious being next to like a professor at the school and stuff and everything,
very
but
approachable.
you're very easy to talk to and stuff like that. So I mean.
So do you think this has turned you into bus riders?
Yeah, not
in
me.
other places?
Well, it changed my perspective on the bus a lot. Like, I mean, growing up in Newport, obviously, like, you know, I didn't have to take the bus and all that. So like, all I knew about public transportation was like, it's LA. And I'm going to be coming home from school. It's going to be dark. I'm skinny. This is not going to be good. But I quickly realized it's not really nearly as bad. But I just have horrible luck in general, so I always get like the homeless guy sitting next to me that smells, and it's like, other than that, it's not too bad. But
what I find important is it puts me much more in touch with that part of reality. And if you're in your car and you're on the freeway, you can pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so then your notion of what goes on every day is kind of skewed.
Yeah.
And you don't develop the understanding of why certain issues are really important.
One of the biggest things that I help individuals come to grips with what transporting is really like, public transportation, is having to do it. Like when you lose your car in Los Angeles, if your automobile goes down, and that's very likely because automobiles do that, you're going to have to do it. And depending on the kind of person you are, I imagine it'll have a different, because like you said, it forces you to see problems in society.
It humbles
you. You don't really have to really be that close. That'll probably be the closest some people ever come to a homeless person being on a bus, and so it'll throw you into that. And depending on how you are, you might have an epiphany. Hey, you know, I need to think differently, or you might, you know. But I don't know. I imagine that eventually, everyone out here, or most people, should know what it's like to be on the bus.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they will.
Yeah. My entire perspective on it changed and stuff, and it made me like more humble and take more like. Get a better perspective on like where my life is in comparison and stuff, and makes me appreciate things. It'd be nice if like public transportation was even more of a like issue. They made it better, and like, you know, we had more forms of it and stuff like that, and just to get rid of traffic would be nice. So I mean.
So I think one of the great things is, as you take public transportation, more of us do, the attitude towards exactly that is shifting, right? 2 years ago, you wouldn't have said that. You wouldn't have had that, even that insight.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's huge.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's actually pretty hopeful.
Wonderful to meet you guys. Nice
Pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Carry on. All right. Bye-bye.
Set up.